polling day on Thursday. Manish Sood, who's running to become MP for Northwest Norfolk, was speaking to a local newspaper reporter and speaking to Sky News. Mr Sood said the Prime Minister's policies were a total disaster for the country. Senior Labour sources said he was an eccentric the party had tried to deselect.
I'm very, very disappointed with the Prime Minister. We're very close to a general election and never do you hear a Prime Minister increasing national insurance contributions. We're right near a general election and never do you hear a Prime Minister increasing petrol prices, which are going up day by day by day. We're very close to a general election and never do you hear a Prime Minister increasing tax on employment income. And on top of that, offending the community and calling a woman a bigot, which he did the day before yesterday. So all these basic problems he has caused within the community and within the society. And let's go further than that. Let's look at the primary sector, the farming, the agriculture that we had all in this country. We were proud of being British, proud of our farms. All that has come to an end. And now as a result, all the agriculture is coming from Europe. And because the primary industry has suffered, the secondary industries have suffered. The secondary industry consists of manufacturing, textile industry, shipbuilding industry, the coal mining. All of that has gone and has suffered as a result. So we're left with really the tertiary sector. On top of that, the bureaucracy has increased, all for the public services, for the police, for the health service, for the fire engines and the fire and safety, for the teachers. We've got a commission for this, a commission for that, authorities for this. The bubble has got bigger and bigger. Immigration hasn't been controlled properly, and let's be very, very honest about it. People are still coming in here quite freely. Under the Asylum and Immigration Act, Section 8, 1996, the Prevention of Illegal Working, which I've been fighting for since 1996 now, I said that there should be immigration, but only if there's a desperate need in shortage industries like chefs, teachers, police, nurses, and so on. So it has to be controlled sensibly. And as a result, what we have now is overcrowding. As a result of overcrowding, we've got congestion. We've got the problem of congestion, so we have to build more houses. We can't put everybody in the houses, so as a result, we have to build more housing. We've got affordable housing. And as a result, people can't get jobs, so therefore they get benefits. And the bubble is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That was not the case in the 70s. In the 70s, the police had a lot more powers. There was more respect for society. You could leave your milk bottles and your food and your bicycles and cars outside the front door and nobody would steal it. And nowadays, people have just got no respect at all for each other. I'm talking about the average person. You go to some of the challenging schools, the children are out of control, the teachers can't do anything about it. You look at the health service as well, it's suffering, and the main industries. Money is being mismanaged. You can see for yourself, the potholes that we've got on the roads, they're getting worse day by day by day. Where is the Minister for Transport? He's hitting 200 to 300,000 a year. He should be going all around the country to all the councils and setting tight deadlines and targets and saying, right, these are the potholes, this is the problem. If they're not sorted out, then we're going to have a crisis in the traffic congestion that we've already got, and so on. So it's getting worse and worse and worse. And this can be clearly seen as we're moving more towards a hung parliament, because a hung parliament is a bad sign. That basically means no government is in control. Under Tony Blair, we had a majority, we had a government. Under Margaret Thatcher, there was a majority, there was a government. But nowadays, that shows that people are disrespecting the Prime Minister. We have to be proud of being British. We have to be proud of the Queen that we have. She's the sovereign of this country. If you go to any of the other Middle Eastern countries, people are proud of their kings and their queens. And we have to go back to the basics there, and so that people are proud of that, proud of being British, proud of the society that we live in, and things will start getting better and better. We have got to stop all these religious education establishments being built. In other words, control the number of mosques that are being built, control the number of temples that are being built, and so on, so that we live together in community cohesion in a society, so that we respect each other and value each other.
Can you tell me how bad a Prime Minister do you think Gordon Brown has been?
I think he's been the worst Prime Minister within the Labour Party because, like I said, that is not the way I was brought up. My mum and dad were both staunch Labour supporters, and they still are. My dad was a well-known politician, my mother was a well-known politician, and that's the way I was educated. He walked into the seat without a proper election. He has increased the bureaucracy again and again. I've already mentioned and highlighted the key problems that are facing the economy and the country, and I truly believe he owes an apology, not just to you or me or the cameraman, but also to the country. also to the Queen, to the police, to the health service, to the schools, to the unions. The unions used to have a lot more powers. Now the unions have got no powers, and so on. So things have just got more and more sort of in a profiteering business-like way, if you see what I mean. And really, he has to set the example. Once he sets the example, he then needs to teach these true values to the cabinet members that he's got, and then the members of parliament, and then to the public, and so on. But he himself hasn't set his guidelines and his targets properly. So therefore, how can other people follow him?
If you feel so strongly about this, I mean, this is your party leader you're talking about. Why on earth are you standing for this party?
Because I was born in the Labour Party. Before I was born, I was part of the Labour Party. When I was born, I was part of the Labour Party. And even today, I'm part of the Labour Party. I am not going to change. I'm going to stay in the Labour Party. But I will make sure that I will continue to drill in the minds of these cabinet members and these leaders so that they change and we change their views to the right way of thinking and the proper way of thinking within the Labour Party.
You keep saying things like this, though. I mean, we're, 24 hours away from polling opening, almost. If you keep saying these kind of things, presumably they're going to say to you, you're not welcome, you're not helping us.
Well, maybe it's a process of time and process of change, but that doesn't mean people are not supporting me. There's a lot of people that are supporting me. I've had a lot of thank you emails already. I've had a lot of people calling me to say thank you very much because you're speaking the mind. People are fed up. Let's be very honest about it. People want to change, you know. And at the end of the day, I've visited a lot of the public services. I've visited the prisons. I think the police should be fully armed properly. The death penalty needs to be brought back in. You know, the prisoners are living in luxury. That needs to be controlled. And it's, you know, Britain is not a charity shop. This is what I'm trying to say. We have to, have people respecting this country a lot more. And it's as simple as that. If they can't be proud of the Queen, if they can't be proud of the system, then they're not welcome. It's as simple as that. And we need to go back to the true moral values of what life was like in the 60s and in the 70s and in the 80s. This is the way I was brought up. This is the way I believe, and many other people out there will believe it with time to come. And that's it. And that's the way forward.
Just finally, I mean, presumably high up people within your own party will be saying that you are doing David Cameron's job for him, that by saying this, you're ultimately, making it even more certain that your party will not be in government. I'm
not at all agreeing with David Cameron as well, because I'm not a Conservative candidate. I am a Labour Party candidate. But what I'm saying is that we have to go back to the Labour Party of what life was like in the 70s and in the 60s. And David Cameron thinking is not that way either. So I don't agree with David Cameron. He's not clear on his immigration policy. He hasn't been very clear on his education policy. He's not been very clear on his public services and that we have. And as a result, that's why we're moving towards a hung parliament. That means that basically nobody's quite sure what to do. And if these people cannot do the job properly, then I'll be moving in with time to come and I will do the job for them. It's as simple as that.
One of Labour's prospective parliamentary candidates has described Gordon Brown as the worst Prime Minister ever. That's, of course, just 2 days before polling day on Thursday.